Hey, welcome to another episode of Before You Buy here, where we give you some straight-up gameplay and our thoughts on the latest games releasing. As usual, it's me, Jake Baldino, and today we're talking about Forza Motorsport 7. It's yet another Microsoft and Xbox racing game from the yearly alternating franchise. Now, while the Forza Horizon games embrace more open-world arcadey fun, the numbered motorsport games aim for more realistic simulation, competing with the likes of like Gran Turismo and stuff. I still wouldn't call the Forza games full technical racing sims, but they do lean that way. And I think this year, with the amount going on, Forza 7 nailed a real perfect balance between racing simulation and just fun, accessible arcade sim. There's a few fundamental things with the game I disagree with, but I'll get to that. Starting out though, after a pretty sick intro to really show you the ropes, you're probably going to be spending the majority of your time in the game's main bread and butter, the career mode, so to speak. This is called Forza's Driver Cup, and it's filled with things to do, and I really like it. This is where I think the game finds a great balance between, like I said, the sim and arcade stuff. It's not necessarily like the controls or individual mechanics, but just the raw content. Driver Cup has tons of different classes and modes and events to play and progress through, and it's a real testament to years of design backing up the game. You're racing off-road trophy trucks, you're barreling down the Indy 500 and American muscle cars, you're screaming through a countryside track with F1 vehicles, classic cars, pickup trucks, tractor trailers, and even sketchy vans, which you can actually customize and put anime stickers on it. There's endurance races, sprints, and then there's weird stuff like drifting into bowling pins with a limousine that all seem like they're designed to appreciate the realism and technical aspects of driving, but still remembering to have fun with them at the same time. Some of the less conventional modes do a great job of getting you to really drive the hell out of any vehicle and learn when to properly brake and how to drift and stuff like that. With Forza's Driver Cup, there's so much fun racing to work through. It kept me busy for quite some time because it's all just really well paced and racing never really feels repetitive with it. One drawback I will say I noticed is that you can't quite stick with one specific class you may love forever. While there are like so many different modes, some aspect or type of racing may not be as fleshed out as you would hope. But otherwise, you get all the standard gameplay options, like really custom tailoring the difficulty to find the right level of assist and realism for you. I like to find a nice balance in between, but it's not as scary as you'd think just turning them all off. It's still good and fun to play, and by this point, it's a Forza game. The driving is fun and pretty perfected, and you really know what you're getting. But now you also have a male or female driver to customize as well. It does kind of bother me that they kind of distract from the cars, but it is nice to have. That level of player choice like that is fully fleshed out and featured, and it's good to have, and that factors over to customizing and tuning as well. There's tons of options that you should expect, and it's all nicely well implemented. The overall game isn't as deep as something like Assetto Corsa or even Project Cars, but I find the balance of everything here slightly more fun, I will say. But on collecting cars, Forza 7 is designed really strongly around collecting, as you kind of essentially build up a sort of bingo card of cars that you collect, benefiting you in the long run and increasing your collector score. As someone who, you know, I always say how much I like progression systems, being influenced to like collect as many cars as possible and not just settle for one is really nice, and it feels consistently somewhat rewarding. I've seen some people not exactly happy with this change because sometimes you're locked down to buying certain cars you want and you have to buy up a bunch of crappy cars first, but I don't know, me personally, I kind of like the grind. If you are the type of person to stick with one car, like I said, with the modes, it's not always possible, but certain tuning options here and there do allow you to make your one car essentially keep up with the Joneses, which is good as well. One other little nitpick though, if you care, Forza Vista is a bit less now with no car history narration, and I miss that. It's a little thing, but I just wanted to bring that up. But there's just over 700 cars and 32 tracks. Not all completely new, but reworked with new systems, and the new Dubai location is really awesome. And it's also nice to have a few fan favorites from 4 as well. But importantly, 12 of these have the dynamic weather options. Dynamic weather and time of day stuff is what Forza sorely needed, and it's awesome here. Like rainy roads add a whole new level of strategy to some races, and the fact that it changes on the fly just makes things really kind of challenging and unpredictable sometimes. I just want more of it. It's not in every single match, and Forza 7 doesn't feel radically new as a package besides that compared to 6. but this does help it come close, you know? I just think that's my biggest complaint. As good as the game is, I think it does feel like a yearly update. There's still enough to justify saying, but like I said earlier, you mostly pretty much know exactly what you're getting. But those weather and day-night effects, which I will say the night stuff looks totally awesome. The game does look very, very pretty. Surprise, surprise. You get HDR and 60 frames per second on Xbox, and the PC version looks good, but like Horizon 3 is suffering from a few performance issues out of the gate that I hope get patched soon. Also, I do want to acknowledge that the load times on the Xbox One S that we played on, they were kind of long. And it also doesn't show too well in capturing, but some of the darker and rainier levels look really incredible in motion. Something with YouTube's compression kind of makes it look like crap, but trust me, it looks good. But one last issue, rewards aren't really as straightforward as they used to be. A lot of it is essentially pay to earn. These loot boxes you can spend money on, you can get cars, bonuses, and customization items, but most importantly, limited use mods within them that alter the behavior of races and allow you to net more rewards upon completion of a race. Now, you probably remember those. That's the problem I have. It used to be a regular feature of the game, not just essentially locked away behind loot crates. While right now the game, it's only in-game currency, it is confirmed that you will be able to spend real money on it, and it changes the whole VIP thing people were used to paying for, which seemed far less egregious. So essentially, it's a new loop of spending the CR points on loot boxes to hopefully earn some mods to play and earn more CR to get more boxes, and it just keeps going and going. It's a cycle. But again, real money hasn't been introduced at the time of recording this video, and to be completely fair, with just in-game currency, it's a little bit fun and addictive and rewarding. But once real money is involved, I want you to be completely warned. I'm not always the type to bag on microtransactions because I just like to ignore them, but this time it's something that I'm really not crazy about. But overall, Forza 7 is a good update. I said good, not great, because of some of the few issues I mentioned. But if you are a racing fan though, and you pick up these games every year or so, I won't deny you'll have a lot of fun. I just really hope they clean up the PC version and that the Xbox One X version that's coming out lives up to the hype. But that's how Before You Buy works, guys. You know, I give you some pros, some cons, and some personal opinion thrown in there, but now I definitely want to hear yours. This is a conversation, so let's talk in the comments. If you did pick up this game today, or like the pre-ordered version that you get access to last week or whatever, what do you think so far? What's your favorite car? Are there any emissions that you're really missing if you are a fan? I want to hear from you guys. I'll be down in the comments as much as I can, but if you got anything else for me, hit me up on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Jake Baldino as usual. But you guys know, clicking the like button does help us out over here. And if you're new, you should subscribe because we put out this stuff all the time. But as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.